All right, welcome to my garden where we're going to do a little tour of old glass over at Gin and Tonic and My Glass there. So I'm going to show you a few of the pieces that I picked up. I don't know if many of you understand carnival glass, but this is Depression era carnival glass, and some of these items were literally fair prizes, right? So high-end giftware that you would have received perhaps in gameplay or as an award. Some of these are just gorgeous, and I am in love with that, I gotta say. So some of these are going to go up to the store. Some of you know I've been building an online store, and I want you to see the detail on this. So let's go to the sunlight. Right, so this glass, when you put can you see that color? It is a very light amethyst color. But it's got this just exquisite detail. So you can see the bottom, the footing. Now, there were a handful of companies working in America making carnival glass. And I'm going to do some research and get the detail for you as much as possible on these elements. But some of them are just downright gorgeous and psychedelic, or just, the kinds of patterns we just don't see very often. So these pieces are pressed glass. You see this one's also amethyst. And that iridescent finish was really popular in the early 20th century America. So those 6 pieces are going to go up in the store. I want you to see these vintage 1935, right? Those are little California Chianti red wine made from grapes, imported, it says. But some of these are California, so you can see the mix of bottles there, quite old as well. But then these, I'm really excited to do a little more research on the Purex bottles. Now, the color on that, you can see, is a nice amber. There's 2 of these Purex bottles, and I was just so excited to run across them. And I'm going to do another video later where you get to see sort of what happens when I'm running across these kinds of things. But you can see sort of traditional marks. And some of you who understand old glass know that this kind of glass would have been commonly used for apothecary sort of chemistry use in the 1800s especially, right? So amber glass you find quite a bit in America in the 19th century and the 20th century as well, all the way in. But because it protects the product inside, some of these amber bottles are used for more medical uses, chemical uses, and Purex, as you can see there, which I just love that sort of pressed glass detail. So pressed glass, I don't know if you can see the detail there. Yeah, I kind of get it. Pressed glass comes in many forms, and molded glass, right? So some of these would have been poured into a mold. You can see the ridges on those. So this is a slightly different method than some of the sort of blown glass elements that are going to be in the store as well. But I wanted you to get a sample of sort of Depression era glassware in all different forms, right? This is the green glass of a wine bottle. This light green is really pretty. You've got the ambers and a light golden amber there. And then you've got those pieces. Now this piece, look at this color. This one is actually cobalt inside, right? And it's got that beautiful finish. Let's see if I can give you some detail on that finish. So here you see a seam, right? So this is a different process than what we're used to in terms of a sort of seamless product. And many products are seamless products. So a plate wouldn't necessarily have a seam. And sometimes later glass has a seam, but earlier glass does not. And it really depends on the maker and their process, right? If this was a single mold, if they were putting two pieces together, right? Because that seam is basically, just like in clothing, a seam. So you can get a sense of how a piece might have been made if you take a look at this detail and process, right? And so I'm going to do a little more detail. I am not an expert in carnival glass, but some of these look older. Some of them look quite a bit earlier. Different colors of glass were really popular in certain eras. So I have another piece of amethyst glass that will be in the store as well. And this amethyst is really lovely and popular, but I want you to get a sense of how gorgeous that is. And the finish is just perfect on this. So you can see why I was so excited to find these treasures and give you a little tour of glassware. So welcome to my backyard garden, and I'll give you a greater tour soon.